The fire risk is at extreme for 8 parts of the state of New South Wales. That includes the Greater Sydney area, just to the north, as well the Hunter region, as well as the central and southern ranges, the southern slopes, the Monero Alpine region, the Illawarra Shoalhaven region, just next to Sydney, as well as the far south coast, right down to the New South Wales Victorian border. All of this has put authorities at a significant state of preparation, as you can see across the map there. That, while it doesn't cover the majority of New South Wales geography, it's well and truly the majority of the population. We're talking more than 5.5 million people in these regions where temperatures are expected to soar, in some instances above 40. 43 degrees is the predicted peak here in Sydney right now, so significant temperatures. Trent Curtin from the Rural Fire Service addressed the media just earlier today.
We currently have 44 fires burning across New South Wales, with 4 of those not yet contained. And none of those fires are a very serious concern to us at this point in time, as we have plenty of resources and aircraft on those fires at the moment.
All right, Miles, I had a quick look at my app and it's currently 31 degrees here in Sydney. You say that we're heading towards 43 degrees. Have authorities given any indication as to when these conditions will ease?
Yeah, so modelling shows from the Bureau of Meteorology that basically cool winds will come up. They'll come through the south and form into what's called a southerly buster. That means those winds will actually bring about a very abrupt end to this heat wave from the early evening first for the southern reaches of the state, then into the evening and early hours of the morning tomorrow. Premier Chris Minns, though, is warning right now what people are facing as they go about their days today is a significant threat and that they need to take utmost precaution.
People die as a result of extreme heat in Australia. That is the truth. And we need to make sure that people are taking the kind of precautions that will keep them alive during a very hot day like the one we're seeing. We're expecting a change in the early hours of tomorrow morning, which means that for most of today, it will be incredibly, incredibly hot.
That's the Premier Chris Minns there addressing the media earlier. He talked about that risk of death and fatality. We know that the paramedics across New South Wales are expecting about 10% additional calls to 000. So that's 4,000 in total. On a typical day this time of the year, they'd expect about 3,700. So what are the behaviours you can take to keep yourself safe? Well, if you are lucky enough to have aircon, keep it blaring throughout your home or apartment, whatever that may be. The state government, it says, they've got contingencies in place to ensure that there is critical energy supply and that there aren't risks of blackouts. Of course, there could be isolated power outages, but at the moment they're remaining confident. Of course, as well, we've seen a series of organised events either shift their times to go earlier in the morning to beat the heat. Some have cancelled altogether. There's a general warning too from authorities. If you're planning to go down to a park to kick a footy, perhaps reconsider going another day when it isn't as hot, or at least waiting until the evening where we should see a drop-off in those temperatures. This is all hoping to change by, as I said, around the late evening into the early hours of the morning in Sydney specifically. By Sunday, we will see a quite dramatic cooling effect. That's meant that authorities can actually lend some support to Victoria, where we've seen already 90 firefighters go down. There's expected to be another 100 to 200 to deploy there to help with at least 3 emergency fires that are burning out of control in Victoria at this present day. Chris Minns, the Premier of New South Wales, says that if he wants to, he will be able to extend that support as well.